Captain's Log. Hello, I'm Captain's Log. Good on you. You made it to Friday. Now, how was my week? It was decently uneventful, truth be told. I did watch a new show, that Common Side Effects that was out, the new Adult Swim thing about the immortal mushrooms and pharmaceutical companies. I thought it was rather interesting. The marketing was decent, but it definitely didn't show an aspect of the show that I'm not also going to show, because it's quite good. I mean, I suppose it did. They've had, like, teasers. But you can see it yourself. Go watch it. It's rather good. Funny, too. It's a comedy, in addition to the kind of action kind of thing. But that's all I'll say on the matter. As for the rest of my week, again, uneventful, bar Friday, in which the several events happened. So, I've somewhat fixed my sleep schedule. I mean, I say somewhat because it wasn't that bad, but I was going to bed at 10 and waking up at 7. Or like 6:50, but like 7. Which was fine. Where I've done that now. But now I'm like out of bed instantly, because it was like go wake up at 7 and then go back to bed like 8:30 or something, and then hurry to school at 9, kind of thing. But now I just get out right at 7, 6:30, but 7. We're just gonna say 7 because it's easier. Not 6:30, 6:50. Wake up at 6:50. So I wake up at 6:50, go to bed at about 10. After I comment on the video, if I do. Sometimes I go to bed before. That did happen. I'm telling you all this because I've woken up today at 2 in the morning. Just out of the blue, 2 in the morning. But I went to bed at 10, so I had slept for 5 hours. So I wasn't tired enough. I was like rejuvenated enough that I couldn't go back to sleep. I had already rested. So I just kind of had to keep myself entertained quietly, because I couldn't go back to bed. So, played some games, watched some movies, and then 9 a.m. comes, or 10 a.m. comes, and I gotta go to school. Because on Fridays, it's 10 to 11, and then 12 to 4. 12 to 2. 14, because I use military time on my phone. But whatever. Except, the lecturer for Fridays has been sick. She was sick at the beginning of the year, and she's sick again. But I didn't know that, because I had gotten to class, like, decently... I get to class maybe 10 minutes before it starts. I leave at 40, and I get there at about 53-ish. Because I time it. I don't want to, like, be out of the house longer than I have to be. So I've timed how long it takes me to get there. And I walk in. Basically a couple minutes before class starts. And typically, there's some people in the hallway before going straight in, because they're like, alright, time's to go in. But no one was here this time. And I checked my phone, correct time, correct room. I go in, empty lecture hall, and I go to my usual seat and pull out my laptop. I was like, maybe it was canceled. And I open my laptop and check my email, and yeah, it was canceled. She had sent an email the other day, basically 24. She sent it at 11:33, because I've got it burned in my memory. 24 hours essentially before class. That, oh hey guys, class is canceled. I'm sick. So I'd walked all the way down there. And it was annoying. So I just kind of... It was a liminal space I was in. An empty classroom. It's unique to be in there. You don't often have the opportunity to do that. So I walked around the room, just kind of pacing quietly, looking at empty desks, thinking about how I had wasted my time, and making a mental note to check my email on Friday classes to ensure that I'm not going to waste my time again in the future. And then a thought came to me. I'm in an empty lecture hall. So, and you can't tell me that at least you wouldn't have, the thought wouldn't cross your mind. I walked to like the whiteboard area facing all the desks and gave an impromptu lecture to no one about why the Riddler is Batman's greatest villain. You can't tell me. You want to look me in the eyes and say that there is not one topic that you're passionate about enough that if given the chance, completely on your own, with no preparation, you could give a short lecture on? Just pop into a... Well, for me, that's multiple things, but, I mean, I read comic books before I go, because I have several saved on my computer, and I like to look at certain panels, because I like the artwork and the dialogue. And I was looking at some Riddler comics. I was like, well, it's fresh in my mind. I have examples I can pull from. I'm going to pretend I'm a professional lecturer on Batman. Now, this would have been without incident. However, someone else didn't read the email, and because I got there early, they got there on time, and walked into my, like, fake lecture, and they were really confused. Who this was is Nick. I've never talked about him before. I think so. I don't think so. He's like the black sheep of the class we're in. No one likes Nick. He smells weird, and is always on his phone, watching YouTube videos during lectures. It's very disruptive. But I had to deal with him. I had to explain to him what was happening, and why no one else was in the class. So that was fun. Oh well. Anyway. I had to go to the bathroom. But since I was in a specific hallway, most of my classes, for reference, the school is, like, divided in rings. Wings, and the school itself is kind of a big ring. It's like a donut. There's the west hall, it's the halls. South, west, northeast. Alright? I was in the south wing, but I'm only there for one class, and that was that class. Every other class is in the north wing. Like after that class, I had a seminar in the north wing, and then I have a seminar, or just whatever. That's the only time in the week I'm in the south wing, for 1 hour on Fridays. So I know nothing about its layout. I'm pretty sure the nurse course is there, but that's because I went to the wrong floor one time. Whatever. I digress. I'm unfamiliar with the south wing. So, I had to go to the bathroom, and instead of walking all the way to the north wing, which I am very familiar with, I know where all the bathrooms are, I just kind of walked down the hallway trying to find a bathroom, and I found, like... Okay, it's not explicitly the disabled bathroom. Okay, just... let me explain myself. It was like... It was a... I don't know, it's both... Guys and girls can both use it. It had both little stick figures on the door. And the stick figure of the guy in the wheelchair. So, it was I admit it was intended for the disabled, but it was also available to be used by able-bodied, like, people who have to go, like me. And it was a different experience, because I've never been, like, I know you know how bathroom stalls have, like, the one thin stall and then the one big stall? Apparently the big stall is for, like, wheelchairs. I didn't know that. I just thought it was like, huh, there's a big stall. Nifty. Like, I've been using that my whole life, because, I don't know, it's cool. I don't like having, like, the compact stall. Anyway, have you ever seen Seinfeld? In, I believe it's season 8. Because he's just finished A Summer of George. Summer of George! Anyway, George gets a job at Playco, where he pretends to be handicapped to use the handicap bathroom, or is it the disabled bathroom? I've just used disabled. I'm going to stick... I don't know, handicap's fun to say. Because handicap. It's like candy. It's just fun to say. I don't know if it's the right term, though, but it's fun to say. Well, Your Honor, I don't know if it was the correct term, but it just rolls off the tongue. Anyway. George pretends to need a cane to walk, and he gets the... I'm gonna stick with... I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. The handicap bathroom. And he's described it as like, oh, Jerry, it's amazing. I feel like a gargoyle on that toilet. And I was lied to. I was led to believe it was a rather, like, tall toilet. But it was not. It was, like, an average toilet. But around it, it was not some elevated porcelain seat, as I imagined. No, there were pipes and pulleys. It was like, it was steampunk. It was not Gothic. This was the control seat for, like, some contraption, like a blimp. With, like, dials and pipes, pumps, and pulleys. It was crazy. I didn't expect it to look like that. But yeah, whatever. I had to piss, by the way. So I didn't, like, sit down and, like, start pulling stuff. No, I just had to piss. But there was only the toilet. There was no urinal. I feel like that kind of takes the steam out of some of the... But it's funny. I feel like that detail, I mean, it kind of ruins it, but also kind of adds to it. Like, he didn't even actually, like, use the toilet. Anyway, that's what happened today. But another thing that happened today, because of, like, I woke up at 2, but I normally wake up at 7, so I was, like, 3 hours behind. No, not 3, no, 5! I was 5 hours, like, ahead, essentially. So I was, like, dead tired at noon, because to me, it was, like, 5 p.m., and I had just been for, like, the whole day. So I took a nap at noon, but it didn't matter, because all my classes were canceled. But I did miss a club meeting, because I, like, woke up at 5. Like, I went to bed at noon, woke up at 5. I actually was, I was transported at 5 p.m., but now I'm, like, awake. But now it's 9. And I'm not tired. I am really hot, though. I might have some water. I'm gonna have some water. I'm gonna cool down. Captain's log. I never said that. Is anyone actively listening? Some people comment every now and then, but I don't believe anyone's actively, intently taking notes on what I'm saying. There, take notes on that. How many gulps of water did I just have? This will be in the test. I can actually make tests. Not in long ones. But I can... Here's something I'd also like to post. Or mention. Is YouTube. So in the community page, it's no longer the community page, which I'll get into. But in the community page, I can make quizzes. 1 question, 4 answer, multiple choice quizzes. I would have liked open-ended, maybe. But I suppose I can use Google Forms if I really wanted to, like, get some research. I don't really want to, but every now and then I have a question. Like, a while ago, in one Captain's Log thing, I had mentioned that I never dream as myself. I brought this up to my friends, too, and they also had no idea what the hell I was talking about. So I'm the odd one out there again. And also on that, only one other person voted for, like, they do not dream as themselves. Everyone else, they dream their life. Their memories. It's wacky for me. I wouldn't be able to... Like, I've done that a couple times. Like, I mentioned the first and second time. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'm not even going to explain the second time I dreamed of myself. Because I've dreamed of myself thrice in my entire life. First one was wacky. Third one was uneventful but boring, or uneventful but like annoying. But the second time I've dreamt as myself, I will never forget. I mean, I've never forgotten the other two, because they stand out so much, because I dreamt as myself. But, I mean, it had an impact on my life. It is a dream that truly I will... Like, it gets its own explanation. It gets its own video dedicated to it. You think I'm... like, its own animation alongside the explanation. Because the visuals are also burned into my head. And you may think, wow, Captain, you're really amping that up. That's because it deserves this much amping up, alright? You don't... Like... You think that they, like, announced that they had made the nuclear bomb with a memo? No, you get up on stage and you have some razzle-dazzle. You give some pizzazz. That is what, like, announcements like that deserve, and that is what the second time I dreamt as myself deserves. Because I do mean I've carried that dream with me my entire life. But I was talking about UI changes. Not even a UI change. So, YouTube, I said, it's not the community page anymore. It's the post page. So you used to be able, I mean, you still can, but the community page is, you can post little updates, images, quizzes, whatnot. Just behind the scenes stuff, little peek behind the curtain for your fans. And I think that's very dandy. I quite like that. I do that a lot. Every now and then, I've just finished watching this show, blah 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 blah. Anyone got any recommendations? And I've taken people up. I'm watching Suits right now as per Phantom's recommendation, and it's pretty good. I'm looking into watching Succession after, but I don't like mixing shows. I know I just said I was watching, like, Common Side Effects, but that's currently coming out, week by week. 10 episodes, it's gonna take me a while. Like, weekly, whatever. But with posts, it's just so cold. That's, like, community page. You interact with the community. And it's just post. It's so formal. I know I'm a formal person. I'm decently reserved. And I admit, I can be cold, callous, and some have described me as robotic. Those are fair, alright? I can be rather reserved. But I'm not... I'm human, alright? I like interacting with my fans. I do that often. I mean, yeah, no, sometimes I miss some comments, but it's little things. Like, it was the community tab, but now it's the post tab. Yeah, post. Did you check my posts? I let you guys know that the video is going to be delayed. No, and it's the community tab. Hey guys, anyone got any show recommendations? I want a good, like, mystery show I can sink my teeth into, and maybe I'll even work on, like, a theory video, and we can craft some ideas together. Like, it's the same. It functions the same. All my old, I've even said, they're posts. But I don't know. There's a difference between, like... Yeah. Is a rose not smell the same if it was some other name? Or however the quote goes. Does a rose not smell? I just said the same quote. I said it twice, but whatever. It has an impact. I'm sure no one cares. I'm like the only one who cares about this. But I make a fuss anytime YouTube changes their UI. They changed it from, like, hard angle squares to, like, the soft rounded edges squares, and now they've changed posts. It's just the programmers, like, they don't need to be there every single time. It's bloated tech companies. where like their employees need something to do, so they're like, all right, we programmed it, we're gonna change it to be posts now. Yep, I've earned my wage or whatever. I'm valued to this company. But if you're gonna do that, change it back. You changed it. You change it back. You get double the like work. You get double the pretending to be busy while your boss walks out, vaguely eyeing you. What the hell was that? I don't know if that picked up on the mic. One of my roommates just screamed, like Tom, from Tom and Jerry, like he dropped something on his foot. I recognize that voice, too. It's roommate number 9. I hate that guy. So you know what? Good. I'm glad you dropped something on your foot, you stupid moron. I hate you. I hate you so much. You smell awful. Alright. That's enough, just in general, enough negativity and enough waffling on about nonsense. I think this is the most I've ever said about my day, but this is like one of the most things that have happened in my day. No, actually, it's not. This is like... that lecture, the Riddler lecture to the handicap bathroom, was like 5 minutes. That was a 5-minute period. And I've gotten that much out of it. I should start making video essays. I can... man, I can pad a runtime, can't I? Alright. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Stay tuned to Gotham FM.